guys? Hope everybody's doing well and having a great day. Bank of America outage. Customers reporting $0 in their bank accounts over here at LiveNowFox.com. Bank of America appears to be experiencing an online banking outage. A lot of people have been saying that this is attributed to the hurricane that made landfall about 5 days ago. But as you can see over here at downdetector.com, looking at a map of the Bank of America outages, you can see they're very widespread across the country, going from Seattle to California to Phoenix to Dallas to New York and Chicago and many places in between. Not necessarily where the hurricane made landfall. Very few outages being reported there. AT&T also reporting outages, including no cell service or home Wi-Fi. Article dated September 30th of 2024. This is well after the hurricane made landfall. I'm not saying that the hurricane definitely isn't contributing to some of this activity. As you can clearly see over here at poweroutage.us, major power outages still in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. 330,000 in Georgia, 450,000 in South Carolina, 335,000 in North Carolina, not to exclude 31,000 in Virginia and 30,000 in Florida. It's going to take a very long time to get all that power restored. But in the meantime, what could be causing all of these other disruptions across the country? Once again, that we just saw over here at Down Detector. Looking at some of the other issues over here at downdetector.com, Verizon, T-Mobile, Mint Mobile, Spectrum, Xbox, AT&T. And again, if we look at the maps, we'll click on Verizon just for an example, and you can see the outages are widespread. New York, Detroit, Chicago, Minneapolis, right in the center of the country, several locations out here in Southern California, Seattle. Yes, there's an outage here in the western North Carolina area, but it's not limited to just there. So Verizon also experiencing outages across the country. So we have to take a look at all the potential possibilities as to what could be causing these disruptions in communications. Just yesterday, less than 24 hours ago, a strong solar flare erupts from the sun. Over here at blogs.nasa.gov, the article goes on to say the sun emitted a strong solar flare peaking at 6:20 p.m. Eastern Time on October 1st. NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory, which watches the sun constantly, captured an image of the event. Right there was the X71, and I have a screen grab of that event that occurred yesterday while I was doing the video in real time. That was one of the largest solar flares of solar cycle 25. Article goes on to say, as most of you watching this video are very well aware of, solar flares are powerful bursts of energy. Flares and solar eruptions can impact radio communications, electric power grids, navigation signals, and pose risk to spacecraft and astronauts and satellites that are orbiting the Earth that are influential in the smooth transition of communications around the world. And these types of outages and things like this are definitely a sign of something bigger. What's going on? And here's a closer look at yesterday's X71 class solar flare that was Earth directed. There it is, almost reaching X10. Here's a look at the Earth-facing side of the sun. Watch right down there. There's the X-class solar flare. Very large, powerful burst of energy. You can see the shock wave that went through the solar system. Earth absorbed all of this energy right here. The satellites absorbed all of this extra energy right here. Here's a look at the Earth-facing side of the sun that is completely loaded with sunspots and active regions. One giant active region that's turning towards the Earth right now as I do this video. Look at that thing. It's absolutely huge, and it will definitely have the capability of producing more X-class solar flares. Here's the thing. If we look back in time, in mid-July, we saw a flurry of X-class solar flares, M-class solar flares, geomagnetic storms around the middle of July. We also saw widespread global disruptions with various technology. You can find all kinds of articles from the middle of July talking about the global IT outages, travel disruptions back in July of 2024. Going to spaceweather.com, if we go back in time to July 14th, we can see there was a large X1 class solar flare that was definitely Earth directed. If you look at the radio sun, the frequency of the sun was highly amplified at 238 solar flux units. That's very high. Looking at the solar flux now, it's 245. And what's going on now? We're experiencing communications issues online banking issues. They say that the ATMs are working okay. It's a widespread area of people reporting that they're unable to access their online banking, and those that can, in some cases, their balances are showing zero for whatever reason. And looking at the situation right now as I do this video, we're under a geomagnetic storm watch according to spaceweather.com. The possibility of a strong G3 geomagnetic storm from this very large X-class solar flare that was squarely Earth-directed. So will we see more outages? Will we see more issues with telecommunications? That remains to be seen, but it's no coincidence that this happened back in July during an uptick in solar activity. We have an uptick in solar activity right now, and we're seeing an increase in IT issues, telephone issues, and online banking issues. That is no coincidence, guys. And real quick, I want to revisit the double moon in the sky phenomenon that's going around. I received this video from Stacy. It was taken on the 29th of September at 5:46 a.m. when she looked up and saw the moon and something in the vicinity of the moon, or at least it appeared to be in the vicinity of the moon, from our vantage point here on Earth. Looking at my star map, I found that this was Regulus, a bright star in the nighttime sky, and the moon just happened to be in the same vicinity as Regulus. So that wasn't a small moon in the early morning sky. And the next photo you're about to see is a classic lens reflection. Andrew out of Alabama took this photo with a Samsung, I believe it was a Galaxy 21 or something like that. I've noticed a common trend with these Samsung devices and reflections of not only the moon, but the sun as well. That is definitely a reflection. That is not a dual moon in the nighttime sky. And coming up, I used a very simple technique. I modified the lighting just a little bit, and the reflection went away. If this were a real light source up here, creating a double moon anomaly, it wouldn't have went away that easy. When I adjusted the lighting, the reflection went away. Again, if that were a solid object up there, it would not have went away. Looking at the GOES X-ray flux, you can see a flurry of M-class solar flares in the last 24 hours. Looking at the Earth-facing side of the sun, once again, a large sunspot in active region turning towards the Earth right now as I do this video. And once again, we have an entire fleet of sunspots that are facing the Earth right now as I do this video. Thanks for the photos and videos, guys. Keep them coming. If you have any photos you'd like to share, you can send those to reports at MrMBB333.com. Thanks for watching. Have a super day and be safe out there.